Hey everybody, I'm Ken Brant and I'm an artist. In this video I'm going to show you how far I've progressed on my whiskey and poker still life painting. I am not done with this painting, so this video will be a part one of a two-part video. I did condense this version down to a time-lapse video, and I will insert some voiceover here and there explaining certain features that I've got on this painting that I've painted so far. So the title for this painting is "The Saloon Had a Full House Until a Shot Rang Out." I always think it's good to have a title, or at least a working title for the painting. It gives me an idea as to, it just kind of helps set the mood of the painting, and in some cases it even affects maybe the colors that I'll be using or whatever, depending on what it is. I did want a Western style type of motif. I went with a kind of a wallpaper that I thought would be you would see in a saloon. I have the green on the felt. I have the whiskey glass. I have the whiskey bottle. The cork. I have some poker chips. I'm not done with the poker chips. I still have some work to do on the cards. This particular card is going to be the back of a card, and I don't know if you've ever seen the back of the bicycle deck. It's kind of an intricate detail, so that's going to be tricky. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that, and I still have the bullets to put in, and I want to do the pretty much do another layer on this painting, set the wallpaper back a little bit, and put some details in here. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. Make sure that if you like this video, you give it a thumbs up and hit the bell notification icon. And if there's any questions that you have or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I always answer every single comment, so make sure to do that. So until the next video, bye-bye. So I decided I was just going to draw on my still life onto the canvas using my paintbrush and some burnt umber. And what I did is I just dipped my paintbrush into the solvent that I use, and just kind of thin out the burnt umber, and I drew with that. Occasionally you're going to see me holding up a piece of paper, and it's actually a photograph of my setup, and I like to go back and forth between both what I'm looking at in real life and the photograph, because a lot of times there are some things that I actually like in the photograph as opposed to what I'm seeing in real life, and vice versa. So I like to go back and forth between the two, and it's always a lot easier for me to draw onto the canvas with the picture right in front of me. It really helps me to get the perspective that I need when I'm drawing. So I use that as an aid to help me get my picture in before I actually do any painting, and that's what I'm doing here. To put in those lighter spots, I actually use the eraser on the back of the pencil, and basically I just erased the color off the canvas, and it really worked out nicely. And what I'm using for the background is again just a mixture of the burnt umber and solvent, and where I want a lighter color I just use more solvent, and where I want a darker color I just obviously use less solvent. And that's all I'm doing here, is putting in pretty much just setting up my values before I start putting in the local color. All I did here was just dipped the end of my towel into the solvent and use that to actually create those whiter spots on the canvas, for the cards and the chips. And for the color green, that is a mixture of phthalo green, some viridian green, and some cadmium yellow. And it matched the felt that I have in my setup pretty closely. For the darker areas of the felt where it's in shadow, I just used more phthalo green in the mixture of the paint. And for the lighter areas, you see where the in between the gun and the glass and the whiskey bottle, there's some really light areas of felt. I just added some titanium white into the mixture. For the red on the chips, I used a mixture of quinacridone magenta, some alizarin crimson, and some cadmium red. And to lighten it up a little bit, I used some titanium white in the mixture. And for the darker areas, I used alizarin crimson. And for a different area, in the shadow area, I actually used the green from the felt and added that to the red mixture and used that for the shadow areas of the red. The background is more of a mixture of the burnt umber and some ivory black, with a little bit of Naples yellow added in there to kind of lighten it up in certain areas, how the light is hitting the back wall. And that's all that I'm using here. The gun is a mixture of ivory black and titanium white, and in certain areas I actually use some Payne's gray as well to kind of give a different look on some of the colors. And that's pretty much all I was using here, and the gray matched the color of the actual gun in real life pretty closely, so I was happy with that. The lighter areas of the cards and also for the chips is a mixture of titanium white and Payne's gray, because Payne's gray has more of a bluish hue to it, and that's kind of what I wanted on the cards and also the chips, because in the way the light is hitting them on the table in real life, there's almost a bluish gray hint to those colors that I'm seeing in real life. For the highlights of the whiskey glass, I was using a lot of Windsor yellow, which is kind of like the same thing as lemon yellow. And there's also some variations of some Indian yellow, some Naples yellow, and some cadmium yellow. So those are all going to be, all those colors are actually in that glass that I'm using there. And for the darker areas, I took some asphaltum and mixed it in with the yellow itself, with the cadmium yellow and the Indian yellow, to get the darker areas of the glass. it never ceases to amaze me when you just add the right color and a couple lines to a bottle or a glass. You can create that effective illusion of glass. And what really helps is making sure that you have the right colors actually showing through the glass, so it gives that optical illusion that you're looking through the item that you are actually painting. And every time I paint this, any kind of glass, it just always amazes me. Now this wallpaper I found is going to be very tricky to paint. I'm still not 100% sure if I want to really put a lot of detail into this flock or not. So I'm still up in the air on that. We actually will know the answer to that within part 2 of this video. But putting in this wallpaper, it's kind of intricate in the design, and you have to mimic the design all the way across. And what I did is I actually went online and found different pictures of flock wallpaper online, and then I downloaded the one that I thought best represented the era that I was trying to achieve here, which was kind of like what I would think I would see in a saloon, a Western type saloon. So this is what I went with, and I downloaded that and I sent the picture to Walmart Printing, and they printed that picture of the wallpaper on a piece of cardboard, and I used that on my setup behind the felt and the whiskey glass. So it's there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to actually paint what I'm looking at between the setup and the picture that I have. It was still pretty tricky to get that design in there. So again, I'm not 100% sure how detailed I want to get with it. I may just soften that whole area up so it might look more in the distant behind the items that are in the forefront, the whiskey glass and the bottle and such. So that's something I'm still trying to figure out. Here's where I started to refine some of the details of what I've already painted, such as the gun and then I'll go from there and I move over to the poker chips and I start putting in a little bit more highlight, a little bit more shadow, and start making those items, giving them more of a three-dimensional look and a realistic look. And I always feel that I don't have to do that. I can be a little bit looser with my painting, and sometimes I struggle with how much detail I need to put into a painting or not. I do want to paint a much looser look on my paintings, but yet still keep it very realistic. And it's a fine line that I find I'm walking on when I'm trying to do that. And sometimes I can achieve it, sometimes I can't. But either way, that's what I'm attempting to do here. So I'm not getting real super involved in the detail, but at the same time, I do want it to look how it's supposed to look. From at least 8 feet away, when you look at this painting, those items should read as what you intend them to be. So from a distance of about 8 feet away, you should be able to look at this painting and go, oh, those are poker chips, or that is a gun, or that is a whiskey glass, or that's a cork sitting on the table. All of these items you should be able to tell from a distance. Up close, they may not look anything like that item, because all you're seeing is the mishmash of brush strokes and color. But from at least a distance of 8 feet, those items should definitely be what you're looking at. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this process up to this point that I have done with this painting, and hopefully the next video, the part 2, will be the completed painting of everything. I'll be adding a lot more detail and whatnot into those items, and like again, moving the wallpaper back a little bit as far as how I soften it up, or having hard edges here or there. So I hope you enjoyed watching this, and as much as I enjoyed painting it, I'm going to be very excited when it's done. And so part 2, we'll discuss more. For coaching and information on how to move your painting to the next level, make sure you give me a call at area code 607-481-9442. That's area code 607-481-9442. And make sure you visit my website at kennethbrant.com. And while you're there, sign up for my email newsletter and be placed into a drawing for a free painting. So again, remember, visit kennethbrant.com and call area code 607-481-9442.